Have you ever caught a whiff of something, a faint, unplaceable scent, and wondered where it came from, only to realize it might be you? Imagine this: the soft creak of a rocking chair on a wooden porch, the warm glow of a late afternoon sun spilling across a quilt-draped lap, and a little girl's voice, bright, innocent, and unfiltered, cutting through the stillness. "Grandma, why do you always smell weird?" That single question, tossed out like a pebble into a still pond, sent ripples of heartbreak through 70-year-old Helen Turner. She'd spent her life keeping things tidy, her modest home dusted to perfection, her clothes pressed crisp, her hands always scrubbed clean after kneading dough for her famous cinnamon rolls. Yet here was her granddaughter, the apple of her eye, wrinkling her nose at the very scent of her. That night, under the weight of her faded floral quilt, Helen buried her face in her pillow and let silent tears soak the fabric. How could something as simple as a smell unravel everything she thought she knew about herself? It wasn't just a child's blunt honesty that stung. It was the distance it revealed. The little girl, who once climbed into her lap for stories about mischievous farm cats, now hesitated, her tiny arms stiffening at the offer of a hug. Helen couldn't shake the image, those big brown eyes squinting, that small nose twitching like a rabbit's. She'd always prided herself on being the kind of grandma who smelled of lavender soap and fresh-baked bread. Not whatever this was. But here's the thing: that old person smell some folks notice isn't about laziness or neglect. It's biology playing a quiet trick, a shift in skin chemistry as the years pile on, mixed with a few overlooked corners of the body that slip past even the most diligent routines. The good news: once you know where to look, it's a puzzle that's surprisingly simple to solve. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 6 sneaky spots, those hidden culprits behind that distinctive scent, and showing you how a little extra care can banish up to 99% of it. Picture this as a treasure hunt, not for gold, but for freshness, confidence, and the kind of closeness that makes a hug feel like home again. We'll explore why even the cleanest folks might carry a whiff they don't notice, how tiny tweaks to your day can rewrite the way you feel in your own skin, and why this matters more than you might think. Stick with me to the end, because once you see these 6 spots for what they are, you'll wonder how you ever miss them. This isn't about fancy soaps or endless scrubbing. It's about understanding your body and reclaiming the ease of feeling you again. Ready? Let's start with a spot so small you might not believe it holds so much power. Area 1. Behind the ears. Tucked just out of sight, behind the ears is a tiny patch of skin you'd barely notice in the mirror. It's a whisper of a place. Soft, slightly creased, maybe brushed by a stray curl or the rim of your glasses. But don't let its size fool you. This little nook is a powerhouse of scent, thanks to a cluster of sebaceous glands pumping out oil like a miniature factory. As we age, that oil shifts, becoming richer, stickier, a compound called non-enal that mingles with sweat and dead skin cells. Left alone, it brews a musty, stale aroma that clings like a shadow, even after a shower. Take Walter, a spry 79-year-old with a laugh like rolling thunder. He'd always been a stickler for cleanliness, showered every morning, splashed on a woodsy cologne that reminded him of his logging days, even polished his boots to a shine. So when his granddaughter Lily leaned in for a hug one Sunday and murmured, "Pop, Pop, you smell kind of funny," his heart sank. He'd spent decades hauling timber through pine forests, raising a family, and teaching Lily how to whistle through a blade of grass. Yet here he was, undone by a scent he couldn't even detect. Embarrassed, he retreated to his bathroom mirror, tilting his head this way and that. Then it hit him. He never washed behind his ears. Not really. A quick swipe with a warm, damp cloth. Nothing fancy, just a few seconds each day, and the change was electric. Lily noticed it first, burying her face in his flannel shirt, with a grin. "You smell like you again, Pop Pop." That's the secret here. It's not about being dirty, it's about being incomplete. Behind the ears, the skin folds just enough to trap oil, especially if you wear glasses or a hearing aid, pressing that buildup tight against your skin. The scent doesn't shout, it creeps, drifting up toward your hair or down along your collar, subtle enough to miss until someone gets close. Cleaning, it's a breeze, a soft cloth, a dab of mild soap if you like, and a moment of care. Maybe it reminds you of childhood, your mum's voice echoing, "Don't forget behind your ears." Somewhere along the way, that habit faded, replaced by rushed showers and a mirror that doesn't quite catch the angles, but bringing it back. It's like flipping a switch. You feel lighter, fresher, and suddenly, you're not wondering what others might notice. It's a small victory, but oh, does it feel good? Area 2, nape of the neck. Now picture this, the nape of your neck, that quiet stretch of skin beneath your hairline, shaded by a scarf or the collar of your favorite sweater. It's a place you don't think about much. Out of sight, out of mind, right? But it's a crossroads of sweat, hair oils, and dead skin. A perfect storm brewing under the surface. On a warm day, you might feel the prickle of heat there, the faint stickiness after a walk outside, but it's easy to miss until the scent sneaks up on you or someone else. Ruth, 76, knew this all too well. She was the kind of woman who turned heads, not for flash, but for grace. Her silver hair swept into a neat bun, her blouses ironed to perfection. She carried herself like she'd stepped out of a vintage postcard. But one humid afternoon, after tending her rose garden, she caught a sour whiff as she brushed her hair. Fresh from a shower, dressed in a crisp cotton dress, she couldn't place it. Her daughter-in-law clued her in during a haircut, running a comb along her neckline and saying, "There's a little build-up here, Ruth." Mortified, she realized she'd been skimming over the nape in her rush to get clean. A few extra seconds in the shower, warm water, a gentle scrub, and the mystery unraveled. The scent vanished, and Ruth felt like she'd reclaimed a piece of herself. Here's why it happens. The nape traps sweat, especially under layers or long hair that slides oils down from your scalp. Collars and hoods press it in, creating a warm, damp haven for bacteria to thrive. It's not the sweat that smells, it's what happens when it sits, fermenting into a faint, sour note that lingers close to your head and shoulders. A hug, a crowded room, a warm car, it rises, unnoticed by you, but unmistakable to others. Fixing, it's simple. A washcloth, a moment of attention, maybe a pat dry with a towel. If you wear perfume, dab it there after it's clean, and it'll sing instead of souring. There's a quiet power in this, caring for a spot so small, yet so telling. It's a nod to yourself that you're still worth the effort, that your presence still matters. And when you feel that freshness, you stand a little taller, don't you? Area 3, under the breasts or skin folds. Let's talk about something we don't often say out loud. Those hidden folds where skin meets skin. Under the breasts, around the belly, beneath the arms or thighs. They're private, tucked away, and easy to ignore. But in those warm, shadowed creases, heat and moisture settle like uninvited guests, turning a quiet spot into a loud source of odor. It's not grime, you see. It's a climate thing, a perfect setup for bacteria and yeast to throw a party you didn't RSVP to. Patricia, 72, learned this the hard way. She was a whirlwind of elegance. Her kitchen gleamed, her pearls shone, and she never left the house without a swipe of rose lipstick. But summer brought a puzzle, a faint, sour smell that crept in by evening, even after her morning bath. She swapped detergents, tried new deodorants, even bought breezy linen tops. Nothing worked. Then, at a checkup, her nurse leaned in with a gentle smile. "Have you been drying under your breasts, Pat? Those folds can hold moisture all day." Patricia blushed, but she tried it, patting dry with a soft towel, dusting on a bit of fragrance-free powder. Within days, the odor lifted, and so did her spirits. She laughed about it later, telling her book club, "Who knew my own skin was hiding secrets from me?" These folds, whether under the breasts or along the waist, stay damp longer than you'd think, especially in heat or under layers. Sweat pools, oils ferment, and the scent builds, sharp and stubborn. For some, it's a physical ache too, redness, itching, a rawness that whispers neglect. But it's not neglect, it's oversight. A towel, a gentle pat, maybe a cotton pad to wick moisture away, and you're golden. It's not just about smell. It's about comfort, about slipping into fresh clothes without a second thought, about leaning into a hug without a flicker of doubt. Patricia started calling it her 5-minute gift to herself, and it stuck. Because when you tend to these quiet corners, you're not just cleaning, you're honoring the body that's carried you this far. Area 4. Scalp and hairline. Your scalp isn't just a canvas for your hair. It's living, breathing skin, a landscape of oil, sweat, and secrets. We wash our hair, sure, but how often do we really clean the scalp? As the years roll on, it shifts, producing more sebum, shedding more cells, soaking up dust and pollen from the world around us. Left unchecked, it's not just a greasy look, it's a greasy smell, a faint sourness that clings to your hairline and drifts outward. Howard, 68, was a man of routine. He'd comb his thinning gray hair each morning, shower with military precision, and tip his hat to neighbors on his daily walk. But one sticky afternoon, after doffing his baseball cap, he caught a whiff, something oily, almost rancid. He blamed his shampoo, then his hat, until his barber, mid-snip, said, "Howard, you're washing the hair, not the scalp." It was a light bulb moment. He started massaging his scalp with his fingertips, small circles, warm water, a bit of soap, and the difference hit like a fresh breeze. His hair bounced, his scalp tingled, and that sour note, gone. He even caught his wife, Ellen, sniffing approvingly one evening, saying, "You smell like the old Howard." The scalp's a tricky beast. Hats trap heat, thinning hair exposes more skin, and medications or slower circulation can crank up the oil. It's not loud dirt, it's quiet buildup, a mix of sebum and residue that festers near the temples and nape. A good rinse won't cut it. You need pressure, attention, a moment to feel the skin beneath the strands. No harsh scrubs, just time and care. And the payoff? It's not just a cleaner smell, it's a cleaner you. Your hair moves freer, your skin breathes, and you catch yourself in the mirror with a little more swagger. It's the kind of freshness people feel before they name it. And that's a quiet kind of magic. Area 5. Belly button. Yes, the belly button. That tiny, forgotten cave in the middle of you. It's a quirky spot, isn't it? A little swirl of skin, maybe deep, maybe shallow, but always there, collecting more than memories. Sweat, lint, dead skin. They pile up in that enclosed pocket, fermenting into a smell that sneaks out when you least expect it. It's not a loud offender, but it's persistent, a whisper of odor you might mistake for something else. Charles, 74, wrestled with this one. A retired teacher with a love for tweed vests and crossword puzzles, he was meticulous, showered twice a day, used antibacterial soap, kept his wardrobe spotless. Yet a musky scent trailed him, faint but stubborn, especially after a long day. He'd scratch his head, baffled, until his wife, June, chuckled one night, "Have you cleaned your belly button lately, Charlie?" He hadn't. Not in years. A cotton swab, a dab of warm water, and a week later, the mystery was history. He'd grin about it later, saying, "Who'd have thought my navel was staging a revolt?" The belly button's a trap. Moisture lingers, especially if your waistband hugs tight or your belly rounds out. Bacteria feast on the debris, and the scent rises, subtle but central. Cleaning's gentle. A washcloth, a soft swirl, a thorough dry. If it's been a while, you might find a waxy bit or two. Nothing to blush over, just proof it's working. It's a small act, but it shifts everything. Your shirt smells fresher, your hands rest easier on your lap. Charles started calling it his secret weapon, and June would wink, saying, "It's not so secret anymore." It's funny how something so small can carry such weight, until you take it back. Area 6, groin and inner thighs. Down where the body meets itself, the groin and inner thighs, is a land of warmth, friction, and quiet battles. It's a natural hotspot, full of sweat glands and soft skin that folds and shifts with every step. Age softens it further, adding creases where moisture pools, and tight clothes or long sits turn it into a breeding ground for bacteria. The result? A musky, lingering scent that clings to your underwear or wafts up when you move, even after a bath. Leonard, 81, felt this sting. A retired firefighter with a stride still strong from years of hauling hoses, he walked miles each morning, showered faithfully, and swapped his clothes like clockwork. But by afternoon, a heavy smell crept in, earthy, almost sour. He worried it was his health, but his doctor shrugged. "Just give the groin a little more love, Len." Reluctant but curious, he slowed down, washed the creases with mild soap, dried every fold, dusted on powder. The shift was instant. No odor, just comfort. He'd laugh later, telling his poker buddies, "Turns out I was fighting the wrong fire." This area's a challenge. Thighs rub, clothes trap, and privacy keeps it hushed. Sweat's not the enemy, it's what festers when it can't escape. A gentle wash, a thorough dry, breathable cotton, it's enough. Leonard added a ritual, airing out after his walk, letting the skin breathe before dressing. It's not just hygiene, it's dignity. When this spot's fresh, your step's lighter, your clothes feel right, and you don't flinch at a close chat. It's a private win with a public glow, a reminder that every inch of you deserves care. Area 7. Between the toes. Now let's wander to a place even more overlooked, the spaces between your toes. It's a humble corner, cramped, shadowed, and often stuffed into socks or shoes for hours. But don't underestimate it. Those tight little gaps trap sweat, skin cells, and warmth, turning a quick stroll into a slow-cooked recipe for odor. It's not the loud stink of a gym locker. It's a subtle, earthy whiff that sneaks out when you kick off your slippers, a scent you might not catch until someone else does. Marge, 69, stumbled into this truth. A librarian with a love for cozy mysteries and wool socks, she'd pamper her feet with soaks and creams, but never thought much about the in-between. One winter night, her grandson, Timmy, plopped down to rub her feet, a sweet ritual only to pull back with a giggle. "Nana, your toes smell like old books." She was mortified, her feet, her pride betraying her. A peek revealed the culprit: damp, neglected crevices. She started washing between each toe. Warm water, a soft cloth, a good dry, and added a sprinkle of powder before socks. The next night, Timmy snuggled close, declaring, "Nana, you smell like flowers now." Between the toes, moisture lingers. Shoes seal it in, socks soak it up, and age slows the drying. Bacteria thrive, and the scent builds, faint but telling. A quick scrub, a fan of the towel, maybe a breathable shoe swap. It's simple. Marge began airing her feet by the fire, watching the flames dance as her toes stretched free. It's a small joy: clean feet, warm heart, a grandson's hug unmarred by doubt. It's proof that even the tiniest spaces matter, that freshness is a gift you give yourself, step by step. Final thoughts. So here we are, at the end of our little journey. Take a breath and think. Which of these spots caught you off guard? Was it the nape, whispering secrets under your hair? The belly button, hiding in plain sight? Or maybe those toes, quietly plotting between your socks? These aren't just places on your body, they're pieces of your story, threads of a life well lived that deserve a little extra love. Helen, Walter, Ruth, they all found that out, and now you can too. This isn't about chasing perfection or dodging every whiff. It's about peace. It's knowing that the scent trailing you is you, the real you, not some sneaky byproduct of time. When you care for these hidden corners, you're not just washing away odor, you're washing away worry. You're stepping into a room, a hug, a moment, with the quiet confidence that comes from feeling whole. You've earned that, haven't you? A life of raising kids, tending gardens, fighting fires, reading stories. It's a legacy worth smelling good for. So try it. Pick one spot tomorrow, behind your ears, between your toes, and give it a moment. Feel the water, the cloth, the air. Notice how it shifts, the way you carry yourself, how it lifts that tiny weight you didn't know was there. Share it with me. What did you learn? How did it feel? Your voice matters here, just like your presence does out there. Thanks for walking this path with me. Let's keep it going, because you're worth every step.